Okay, so let's get right into it. We're about to break down a pretty huge strategic report that says 2026 is going to be the start of a massive technological shift. And look, we're not just talking about your phone getting a little faster. We are talking about a fundamental rewiring of, well, pretty much everything.
Yeah, the report does not mess around. It kicks off with this incredibly bold statement. The whole point is that what's coming isn't just another tech trend. It's a leap, a genuine leap that's going to reshape our world.
And this is the question at the heart of it all. For the past few years, we've known AI as a chatbot, something we type to. But that's all about to change, which really brings us to a whole new way of thinking about this.
So let's put a name to it. The report calls this the autonomous era. And that's not just some buzzword. It's a real framework for understanding how a bunch of different technologies are all hitting maturity at the exact same time. So here's the key takeaway. 2026 is that inflection point. It's the moment AI stops just answering our questions and starts doing things for us. On its own, autonomously. Not just in software, but out here in the physical world. Now, the source material is pretty dense. It gets into 15 different trends. But to really get a handle on it, we've boiled it down into a simple metaphor. We're building a new world on 3 foundational pillars, and they're being built as we speak. So let's take a look at the first one. All right, pillar number 1. This is all about the intelligence layer, the cognitive engine that's going to power this whole shift. You can think of this as the brain of the entire operation. And the core tech here is something called Agentic AI. I want you to completely forget the chatbots you're used to. An AI agent can take a complex goal, like, say, plan my entire business trip to Tokyo, and then just do it, all of it. We're talking booking the flight, finding the hotel, and maybe even having its AI negotiate with the airline's AI to get you a better seat, all while you do nothing. So how is this brain actually going to show up in our lives? Well, the report points to something it calls the agentic economy, where these AI agents start handling all those junior-level digital jobs. Think market research, data analysis, you name it. And tied to that, this is probably the beginning of the end for traditional search engines. Why would you type keywords into Google when you can just give your goal to an AI that finds the info and acts on it for you? Okay, so if the first pillar is the brain, then the second pillar is where that brain gets a body. It's where it gets its hands, its eyes, its legs. This is how all that digital intelligence starts to actually move around and manipulate the physical world. And this is the whole idea behind physical AI. It's simply the fusion of that super smart agentic brain we just talked about with actual physical robotics and hardware. This is literally how AI gets a body to go out and do things. And that body is going to take a bunch of different forms. Yeah, we're talking humanoid robots in warehouses and factories. But it's also about new kinds of hardware, like smart glasses that become our interface to the world. It also includes things called digital twins. These are perfect virtual copies of, say, an entire supply chain that an AI can manage in the digital world to control the physical one. And all of this means we have to figure out a whole new way of relating to these machines. Okay, on to our final pillar. Because look, you can't have this powerful AI brain and body without a new kind of skeleton and nervous system to hold it all together. And that right there is the new infrastructure. And this layer is just massive. We're talking about companies rebuilding their entire IT departments to be AI native. We're talking about creating standardized AI factories to just pump out intelligence at scale. It's going to demand a whole new tier of computing power by plugging quantum directly into the cloud. And maybe most importantly, it's also about small, powerful AI models that can run locally, on your device, so that not all the power is in the hands of a few giant companies. But here's the thing. When you build an infrastructure this powerful, you also create some really scary new weak spots. I mean, if hackers can use their own AI agents to launch automated attacks, then the only way to fight back is with agentic security, your AI agents fighting their AI agents in cyberspace. At the exact same time, there's this huge geopolitical fight brewing over data sovereignty. Basically, who owns and controls the data that fuels this entire revolution? The report also lays out a timeline, and honestly, it's moving incredibly fast. 2026, that's the breakout year for agentic AI. Just 1 year later, in 2027, knowing the basics of quantum computing becomes a must-have skill for tech teams. And by 2028, the goal is to have that whole autonomous infrastructure we just talked about ready. This isn't some distant future, this is the next few years. So, with all that said, what are you actually supposed to do about it? Well, the good news is the report finishes with a really clear, actionable roadmap for anyone who wants to get ahead of this thing.
It really boils down to 4 steps. 1, if your whole AI plan is still about simple chatbots, you are already falling behind. You need to switch to agentic models. 2, start investing in what's called edge AI hardware. That's stuff like phones and glasses that are powerful enough to run AI themselves. 3, rebuild your cybersecurity from the ground up around automated agentic defense. And 4, start teaching your people about quantum computing right now. Don't wait till 2027.
And the report closes with this really stark warning. It's basically saying that the pace is so fast now that getting a handle on these technologies isn't just about getting an edge, it's about being able to compete at all. And that really leaves us with one final thought. This autonomous era isn't something that's just going to happen to us. It's being actively built right now by people making these decisions. So the only real question left is, are you going to be one of the architects, or are you just going to watch?